What's good, fam? We about to expose the biggest L in modern hip-hop history, the so-called king of the six, Drake. Yeah, that Aubrey Graham dude who's been flexing charts and streaming numbers like he's untouchable. Trust me, it ain't looking good. I'm talking about major Spotify purges, lawsuits brewing, and a streaming empire that might be crumbling like a house of cards. And you know I gotta name drop Kendrick Lamar, cause this ain't just a numbers game. It's a whole debate about who's really putting in that real work. No cap. Now, before y'all start shouting Drake's name like he's the GOAT or throwing shade at Kendrick with those bot farm accusations from the OVO stands, let me school you with some facts. Kendrick's had people whispering behind his back for years, calling him fake, rigged, or whatever lame excuse just to cope with Aubrey's massive presence. But peep this, after that Super Bowl appearance boosted Kendrick's monthly listeners to over 110 million, the numbers dipped back down to about 80 million. Sounds bad? Nah, that's straight facts of how hype cycles work. Big events bring fans running in, then it cools off naturally. That's normal. Here's the real kicker though. While Spotify and other platforms have been scrubbing fake streams and suspicious activity from the charts like a janitor on overtime, Kendrick's numbers stayed untouched. No cuts, no shady edits, just that authentic longevity you can only get from real music powering real culture. He's out here selling stadium shows in Europe like it's a personal flex, not a paid advertisement with zero fake listeners bouncing back and forth. You want to talk influence? Kendrick's streams echo because his art hits deep, not because some algorithm pushed it nonstop like a product placement. And this right here is the W that puts the whole Aubrey drama in perspective. Because while the OVO fanboys been lashing out for years, accusing Kendrick of rigging numbers, the actual data doing the opposite, exposing Drake's empire as shaky as a house built on hype. And what comes next? Man, it gets way uglier for Drake's legacy. Wait till you hear about the shakeups in Spotify's streaming audits and those lawsuits that got OVO sweating bullets. Speaking of Spotify, let's talk about the latest crackdown. This ain't just a Drake problem, but he's definitely catching the biggest L in this round. They're wiping out millions of fake or suspicious streams across the board for big names like Nicki Minaj, Kanye West, and yep, our main man, Aubrey too. Kendrick, like I said, his catalog stayed untouched, pristine like some untouchable artifact. Meanwhile, Drake's numbers getting slashed left and right, his streaming stats taking a big hit, as if the universe itself said, yo, I see you riding this fake wave and we about to cut you off. Now, the funniest part, watching his hardcore fans try to flip the script, blaming Kendrick for their guys' losses, as if streaming platforms owe Drake some pass or a secret algorithm. Nah, fam, this ain't a fan war no more. It's about facts versus fiction, real loyalty versus paid clout. Drake's been clutching onto those inflated streams like they're his last lifeline, but with every new Spotify purge, his fortress looks more like a sandcastle against the tide. The rumors about these fake streams, nah, it ain't just cap. The receipts brewing about to spill all over this industry. And if you think that's wild, here's a next level twist. There's a lawsuit hanging over Drake right now connected to one of his tracks, Not Like Us. This ain't your everyday music beef. His legal team's pointing fingers, saying a significant chunk of that song's success came from those suspect streams, maybe even pulling real listeners in through trick plays with fake accounts. When you thinking about that, that means this ain't just some numbers game. It might be a whole scheme lurking under the surface. Meanwhile, Kendrick's catalog flies high untouched by any legal drama or fake stream accusations, like a beacon of pure, undiluted artistry. It's almost like Kendrick's silently calling out everybody faking the funk, saying straight to the game, you can't trick what's real. Back in Drake's camp though, the deeper we go, the more obvious it becomes that this empire wasn't built just on powerful music, but on some sketchy deals and algorithm manipulation only insiders really understand. Ever notice how Drake's tracks just keep popping up everywhere? As soon as you open your streaming app, it's like the Drake playlist is the default setting. Shuffle, autoplay, curated lists, you name it, Drake's got his foot in the door. Apple Music's recent top 500 streams list dropped. And fam, some of his songs from years ago still sitting near the top like they never left the party. That kind of artificial bump ain't no accident. It's a business move. Some might call it shady. Some might just call it hyper marketing, but it definitely ain't organic listening. Here's the vibe that's gonna make you think. Drake's hustle isn't some rookie move with bots and cheap clicks. Nah, this is high level stream manipulation wrapped in collabs, hype drops, and non-stop content, throwing shade on artistic quality just to rake in views all day, every day. He sold you on this never-ending stream dynasty, but those cleansers Spotify's pulling lately, they're showing cracks in that fortress like never before. Aubrey's throne shaky, the whole OVO empire possibly taking a major hit, and this could change the game for the entire music biz. And it's hilarious watching his fan base spiral in denial while these receipts stack up. For years, Aubrey controlled perception like a puppet master. But now, the curtains pull back. This is drama that could power a whole Netflix docuseries, exposing how the King of the Six might have been more about numbers than genuine legacy. Now, real talk. Labels and streaming services are prepping heavy behind the scenes. Universal Music Group or whoever's calling shots in these investigations. They ain't just gonna let this slide. The industry's watching. Drake's been stepping on toes, making enemies, and it turns out that charisma that got him in the door also made him persona non grata in some boardrooms. And it's not because he's some artistic rebel or hero. Nah, he's been used by the game just as much as he used it. The funny part, labels pushing Drake's mediocre tracks like gold just cause they stack up streams somehow. He probably walked in thinking bad music could still be good if streams were high enough. That delusion right there is where half this mess started. So here's what we're gonna do. You made it this far, so hit that like button like your life depends on it. Smash subscribe so you don't miss the rest. We about to get even deeper into the lawsuit drama and what these Spotify purges really mean for the rest of Aubrey's career. This story's still unfolding, and trust me, the next chapter's got so much heat, they'll fry your whole timeline. Stick around, cause what I'm about to say next is gonna flip the whole narrative on its head. All right, now let's peel back the next layer, cause it ain't just about the numbers getting clipped or the lawsuit hanging overhead. What's wild is how all this mess exposes deeper cracks in Drake's whole image. Bro, this is the dude that's built his brand for over a decade, predicting every move like a chess game, but now we see he might have been playing checkers the whole time, hiding behind layers of hype and fake plays. It's a whole different story when the media and the numbers don't sync up. When that picture-perfect King of the Six crown only holds up when nobody's looking too close. But here's the real kicker. When you pull the curtain back on the music, the quality starts looking suspect too. Drake's been riding this wave of quantity over quality for a minute now. Dropping album after album, single after single. Sometimes feels like it's all about flooding the streams rather than making bars that hit. Compare that to Kendrick. Every single release feels like a damn event, something crafted with layers, depth, and soul. Meanwhile, Aubrey got tracks that heat up for a hot minute, catching fire on buzz, alone, only to cool off faster than you can say, Six God. The streaming purge, yeah, that's like the real scoreboard catching up on all those overrated bangers. And this playbook Drake's been using is textbook exploit, pulled from old school marketing and modern streaming loopholes. You ever notice how the guy's constantly dropping features, surprise tracks, and collaborations that feel more like clout grabs than artistic collabs, all while his own solo projects kind of flow past like yesterday's news if you just look without the hype filter. The drip's there, but is the actual sauce? That's a question more folks need to ask instead of blindly streaming every drop because it's Drake. Now, don't get it twisted. Drake got legit hits and moments that'll go down in hip-hop history, but that shine's been murky with this fake stream drama hanging over his head. We ain't talking small slip-ups here. The numbers Spotify wiped are massive enough to make anyone question what's real and what's fabricated. If you're rolling with Aubrey, thinking his streams are all organic, it might be time to check the facts. The truth, some of those plays came from streams so suspicious they had Spotify wiping them clean faster than you catching a fade in some back alley battle. And the fallout from all this, it ain't just gonna hit Drake's pockets. Nah, the whole music biz feels this earthquake. Imagine labels tightening their grip on stream counts, builders of playlists getting extra scrutiny, and artists having to face the fact that streams ain't just a hype number anymore. They're a legal and financial battleground. The streaming farm game that's been under the radar for years, this might be its final curtain call, with Drake as the biggest casualty so far. That's a major shift from being untouchable to possibly becoming the cautionary tale. Let's keep it real. Streaming changed the whole rap game, but if the system's this broken, people gotta start respecting artistry over analytics. That's where Kendrick's light shines brightest in all this mess. His longevity wasn't built on quick hacks, but on tracks that made people feel something real, and that can't be bought with bots or boosted by shady playlists. While Drake's numbers went under the microscope, Kendrick's legacy is quietly expanding, winning respect that no purge can take away. Now, you might be wondering if Aubrey can bounce back from this epic setback. That's a legit question. Can someone so tied to streaming numbers and hype reinvent himself when those crutches get yanked out? It ain't impossible, but it's gonna take more than just dropping the usual hot girl, summer type bangers or recycled flows. He's gotta prove that he's more than a chart hogging, stream stuffing machine, and that means digging deep, making music that reminds folks why he was loved in the first place, before he became the poster boy for fake streams and lawsuits. But here's the issue. Drake's caught in this whirlwind where the narrative controls everything. The definition of success has changed, and his brand's image can't just shrug off the stigma of shady streams and legal troubles. People are waking up to the fact that those king of the charts trophies might be sitting on unstable ground. Meanwhile, Kendrick, who's been quietly stacking W's, looks better by the day because his successes are clean, verifiable, and respected across the culture. We got to talk about that lawsuit again because it ain't your everyday industry spat. This thing has the potential to flip the whole narrative from Drake's the king to, well, Drake's the cautionary tale. If the courts find evidence that fake streams pump Not Like Us, that could have massive ramifications, not just financially, but legally. Revenue losses, damages, drop partnerships, it's a lot on the line. And if Aubrey's team tries to spin it arguing it's no big deal, nah, the optics just get worse. Transparency and accountability are the new coins in this age, and OVO's tightrope walk looks shaky as hell. The industry watching all this is like vultures circling, ready to pounce on the next big slip-up so they can tighten control and clean up the scene. Universal, Spotify, Apple Music, they gotta protect their credibility or else the whole streaming model collapses under the weight of fake plays. And yeah, Drake's empire is definitely feeling that pressure first and hardest. It's like he's the frontman for a system that's been hiding cracks for years, now exposed in the harsh light. One more thing that gets overlooked is the cultural impact this could have on Drake's legacy. Beyond the numbers and legal mess, there's a question about respect and influence. Hip-hop has always been about authenticity and realness, two things that shine through Kendrick's DNA but got lost somewhere along Drake's quest for dominance. This stream manipulation, it chips away at the trust fans had, making it harder to believe in the art or the artist. And once that trust erodes, it's hard to rebuild. This drama might well mark a turning point, a new chapter where the culture demands more than catchy beats and viral hooks. It wants real stories, real talent, and real hustle. Now, what should Aubrey do to fix this mess? Well, first off, he got to drop the fake hustle and get real. Less flooding the market with throwaway tracks, more focus on quality and genuine artistry. He needs to start showing vulnerability again, tapping into the reasons people loved his music the first time around. Getting ahead of the lawsuit with transparency, owning whatever mistakes happen, and showing growth. That's what builds respect in crisis, not denial or blaming others. And finally, slowing down on the stream stuffing tactics and embracing authentic fan engagement. He's got the platform, fan base, and cultural pull to make a comeback. But it's got to be a real one, or fans will bounce for good. At the same time, this whole scandal shines a light on how the music industry needs to evolve. It ain't just about numbers anymore. It's about meaning and sustainability. Streaming services got to get smarter and cleaner with how they measure success. Labels got to be held accountable for pushing shady deals, and fans got to demand more transparency from their favorite artists. Because if this keeps happening, the art loses and the game turns into a numbers race with no soul. All right, fam, we just unpacked some heavy truths about Drake's crumbling streaming empire and Kendrick's contrasting rise. This whole saga is way bigger than just two artists. It's a reflection of the future of hip-hop and how we define success in the digital age. Whether you're Team Aubrey or Team Kendrick, one thing's clear. The game is changing and it's hitting different. The days of riding fake streams for fame might be numbered, and real artistry is about to get its overdue spotlight. Now I gotta pass the mic to you. What's your take on all this? Is Drake's downfall the end of an era, or can he still pull a W out of this clutch? How do you think the Not Like Us lawsuit is gonna shake down? And what lessons does this teach us about the streaming era as a whole? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get this convo popping. Don't sleep on your chance to be heard, because these topics gonna shape the culture for years to come. If you vibe with this deep dive, smash that like button like your crew's counting on you, and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown where we unpack the ins and outs of that lawsuit and what it means for Aubrey's reign. So be part of the movement. Till then, keep it 100, stay sharp, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.